Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of RageQuitTV, gonna be casting a game between Dimaga from Team Mortal Teamwork, better known as just mTw, and he is going up against Mil.Stephano, the American Hope. Just kidding, I know he is French, but around the IPL, I think it was, everyone did call him American, or the last American Hope, or something along those lines, and there's always the joke that he is American. That's why it's just around the IPL, I believe. We do have the players starting off with a little bit of a chat. And it is ZVZ, close by air position, so don't be surprised if players go for a hatch first build, and they may even go for a hatch, gas, then pool, and play so ridiculously greedy, because the goal is to throw your pool down later than your opponent. And there's overlords being in each other's base, don't know exactly the pool timing, and try to throw it down just a little bit later. Back in Brood War, you would see sometimes players go like 2 hatches before a pool, just really stretching that, but there's no way in hell will you see that in Toddler Malta, just because you can't easily take a third base without taking out some rocks, because Blizzard thought that's what the game needed, is more rocks. But we will be seeing both players look like they're at 14 supply. Both players still building drones. We'll see if they end up going for early-ish pool. I think both players will go for a hatch first. What I'm curious about is if anyone will go a hatch, then gas, then a pool. And Stephano, he does have a 90.4% win rate on the European ladder. Actually, that was pulled from yesterday, so I don't know what it's at now. I know he lost a few games today watching his stream, but you do see him stream quite often. He does have commentary now, and if he was commentating this game on his stream, he'd be saying he's at the advantage. You saw Dimaga's hatch go out a split second later, and that's not because Dimaga's slower or anything. That's because his drones have a little bit longer to walk, and there is a microscopic advantage. But at Stephano's level of play, he cares about that microscopic advantage. He does not like being on the 12 o'clock spawn just because the lava starts there and then walks all the way to those minerals, while Stephano has quick access to these. So something to think about. You did see Stephano go for his hatch just a split second earlier, even though they both built it at the same supply, because Dimaga just has a slight disadvantage, which means Dimaga should be playing defensive this game. But again, it's so microscopic, the game isn't matured enough for that to make a big difference. And while I was talking, I wasn't paying attention if they went gas before a pool, so we'll wait for the spawning pool to finish and see if they have around 100 gas. It looks like Dimaga, he did do that. That pool is going to be finishing. He is going to have 100 gas right when it does to start speed immediately, while Stephano, on the other hand, the pool finishes and he's at like 50 gas. So Dimaga went for that gas earlier, the normal gas before a pool, because, well, he's mined a bit more than Stephano. And now he does start a speed, doesn't pull anything off gas, and Stephano does see that, and that is definitely good to know. Overlord's leaving the base as the queens are about to come out, but Stephano now knows that Dimaga could go into a baneling route, and since he's still mining the gas, it's most likely he's going to go into some type of baneling play, just because many high-level ZVZs, I don't see them going into roaches before banelings, just because you give up complete map control, because roaches early game, by the time you build them and leave your base, your opponent's going to know because they have overlords, and then they have time to build a full set of roaches and easily defend it while running into your base with their lings and doing some damage. So a lot of players do favor the Ling Bling openers, or sometimes just pure Lings if they have really good micro and trust themselves against Ling Bling. We do have a Baneley's Nest going down for both players, and going to the gas, we do see 2260 versus 2200. So Dimaga still mining a little bit more gas. We'll see what he ends up doing with it. Both players getting a spine crawler right now. Stephano moving it just a little bit forward. Ling's going to start working on those rocks so he can take his third base. And Baneley's Nest now finishing for Stephano and now finishing for Dimaga. Dimaga actually got his Baneley's Nest just a little bit later, and you do have Stephano morphing in some defensive Banelings. He doesn't know what Dimaga is up to, and I'm kind of surprised he's just morphing in defensive banelings. Something's told him, oh, you're being aggressive. Maybe it's because Dimaga kept on getting that gas. We do see Dimaga with a relatively early lair and going for an Evo chamber. So even though he got the Baneling's Nest, it looks like it's more of just a defensive Baneling's Nest. Did poke in with the Lings. I think he saw the Banelings morphing and kind of got an idea of what Stephano was doing. Stephano getting a Evo chamber right now, but Dimaga already started his +1, so this will be a Roach 1 building right now. You see it's a 55-second build time with his hatch. Has about 55 seconds left, so the Roach 1 and lair will finish finish at the same exact time, so he can immediately start that Roach speed upgrade. We do have Stephano getting a complete scout with this Lincoln. This is really big, going behind the drones. That is much bigger than it may appear because now he knows Dimaga has been droning up. He knows, okay, you have about the same drones as me. Actually, it's exactly the same, both 40 drones, and now Dimaga wants to get in. Stephano kind of blocked that a little bit with his Evo Chain, but Dimaga going up into the main, and he'll get to see both middle lines, so he'll know exactly what Stephano is up to. Doesn't see the lair, and now, did he see it start morphing? Yes, he did. So he knows the exact timing of that lair, knows the drone counts, and Stephano is getting double Evo Chamber, so he can start that +1 armor upgrade. And Stephano, he times, no, that's not timed to his lair. Is it? No, it's not. I was about to say that +1 attack looks like it is timed to his lair, so he can start +2 immediately. But it's not. +1 will finish just a little bit after the lair finishes. He is getting +1 armor as well, and still droning up. Both players have scouted the middle line, so they know it's relatively safe to drone up. Dimaga going to be getting roaches before Stephano and start working on those rocks. Stephano is up to 58 drones while Dimaga is at 47, but Dimaga is building 5 more. Stephano going to be building roaches momentarily, while Dimaga does have that roach speed upgrade just now, completing his +1 also finishes before, but Dimaga is going to be falling behind in upgrades despite starting them before just because he's using 1 Evo Chamber, while Stephano is using 2, and we do have Stephano working on the gold rocks with those lings, has already taken the rocks Dimaga is trying to take out, so of course his third base is before Dimaga's. But Dimaga is probably going to have a higher roach count than Stephano, but Stephano will have defender's advantage if Dimaga tries to push, and it looks like he will be aggressive relatively soon just because he's massing up those roaches and that speed is just about complete. But again, Stephano has that defender's advantage, so he only has 5 roaches out now while Dimaga is moving out with 10. Actually, Stephano has 10 to Dimaga's 20-ish. I know it's 23, but Stum's still in the back, and Dimaga is going to be coming. But Stephano going to get a full production pretty much of roaches and be able to hold this because of his defender's advantage, and of course the Spine Caller does help too. Dimaga is going to see those rocks have been taken out, but he doesn't know about the base back here. Neither player actually has an Overlord scouting for the 3rd timings, and that's a little bit odd that an Overlord doesn't just pop on over to this one base and just watch that 3rd base, as both players are taking it. Of course, Stephano taking it before Dimaga, but neither player knows that. And Stephano is about done his +1 armor, and he will have the upgrade advantage against Dimaga right now. 1-1 versus 1-0, but we do have Burrow on the way for Dimaga. That's something I haven't seen in a long, long time. Overseer is just hanging out right there, and Dimaga just completely powering roaches and also getting that tunneling claw, so he could hit Stephano hard if Stephano does not get any detection, just because tunneling claws can be a hell to deal with, especially if he manages to get like up here and has high ground advantage and the roaches can't really get a good concave. That is definitely something that is very annoying. Could force Stephano just to go for a counterattack because Dimaga would have such a superior concave to Stephano, even though it's in Stephano's base. But Stephano, again, going to have that upgrade advantage as Dimaga still just at 1 Evo Chamber. Working on the upgrades, just not working on them very quickly. Both players have their 3rd base finished. The worker count is 51-62. ZVZ's drone chicken right now, and Stephano is winning. But if Dimaga does attack, he could be in a little bit of trouble. We do have, wow, almost everything going to be finishing at the same time. +2, Burrow, and Tunneling Claws. This could be the start of a vicious, vicious timing. Stephano going to be moving out. I'm not sure what he's timing it against, as he still has 40 seconds on +2 and a long time on +2 armor. But it looks like he is just retreating, maybe just seeing out what's going on around the map. We do have the Overseer here, and did use a Changeling, so that Changeling will be trying to get a Scout. And Dimaga will see the upgrades, also sees a Overseer morphing, which is very good for Stephano because Dimaga does have that Burrow. And here we go, big engagement going to be going down. And, well, it's hard to say who is going to be winning this right now, but we can see Dimaga right now burrowing some roaches, does have a few burrowed. And those are regaining that HP. I'm going to keep trying to click on those bird units so you can see them just go. And that's, I guess, what is definitely key. But looks like Dimaga will be pushing forward, but Stephano does have the defense advantage. 8 roaches on the way out, and Stephano does have the upgrade advantage. Almost has a huge one when this +2 does finish. Dimaga will be at 2-0, while Stephano will be at 2-2. But Dimaga using that burrow play, maybe making up for not having You can see a lot of roaches burrowed right now, just getting that healing up. Even though Stephano does have detection, it looks like it does take the attack priority away. But going into this units tab, we do see Stephano starting to edge his way in. That +2 now done for Stephano, and that is making all the difference in the world with this defender's advantage. Dimaga will have to be pulling back, is going to be moving his roaches back with tunneling claws, but there is the Overseer there, so those will get targeted down, and Dimaga going to be losing all of these roaches. It looks like as Lings are now coming in just to get behind the roaches, it looks like kind of surround them and allow Stephano's roaches to catch up, but Stephano is not using that Ling Micro to get ahead of the roaches, so Dimaga does pull back with a few, and now he does have the defender's advantage. Keep in mind, he doesn't have the upgrade advantage at all. He is down 2 armor upgrade, but he does have this sick burrow play that he has been using, and that has definitely helped him, but Stephano has a 30 supply lead right now. And that is huge. Also, Stephano on +1 base. Dimaga again with that burrow play. And I'm just going to keep the HP bows on Dimaga's units because that is definitely what matters. I can put them on both, I guess. It's hard to say who's going to win this roach battle. That's one of the reasons I don't like ZVZ, but has been a good game nonetheless. It looks like Dimaga will be able to hold here. And that burrow play just being so good. You can see with the tunneling claws and moving them back. Very nicely done by Dimaga. And just healing those roaches up and still burrowing. So he's going to unburrow and have a lot more roaches all of a sudden. And now he will be pushing Stephano back. Has a few changelings out. Looks like he wants to try to get in front of those roaches and stop them from moving so he can get extra hits off. Very nice play by Dimaga right now. And Stephano just going to be going back to his 4th base. Doesn't have a queen right here, but he does have a queen over at this 3rd base. And the Overseer just coming in to see the drone saturation. Actually, it queued up to use Contaminate. I have not seen that ability in ages, ever since the energy upgrade got increased. I haven't seen that used at all. And that does stop the love. It looks like Stephano has the same reaction as I do. But it does stop love production on that hatch for 30 seconds. Which isn't big, but it's definitely nice. And Dimaga still massing up those roaches. Has started his +1 armor. 157 supply 2, 182. Dimaga will have the defender's advantage. And he also has that sick burrow play. It's hard to call any battle right now just because of how Dimaga's been microing that. And Ling's still hanging out in all these roaches. So he knows exactly where this enemy is. He knows he's behind in upgrades. But he has a sick concave set up. And here we go, the big battle is coming in, but Dimaga has such a good concave. However, Ling's just run right on by, going to Dimaga's 3rd base, and that 3rd base is good as dead right now. All those drones have gone down, but it looks like Dimaga will power through these roaches. Stephano is relying on his reproduction ability. If Dimaga keeps all his roaches alive, he may just be able to do a vicious counterattack. You can see that 3rd base has fallen, but Stephano has definitely lost a lot in supply. The supply lead is almost in Dimaga's favor right now. 4 Lings are going in to try to do work on some drones. The Queen is working her way on that, and Stephano is falling on back. Dimaga just healing up all his roaches. That's something that Stephano cannot... Oh, no, he can do. Oh, no, he can't. I had Dimaga's roaches still targeted. He cannot use burrow because he has not researched it yet. So he does have a lot of injured roaches. And here we go. Dimaga moving out with how many roaches is this? 55 for Dimaga, 45 for Stephano. Stephano building 13 right now, and that defensive advantage is going to make a huge difference. But will Dimaga's burrow play be enough to edge out a victory? We do see Dimaga starting to split his units, getting a good concave, but Stephano just goes up close and personal and dropping changelings in, just trying to do whatever he can. It looks like Dimaga burrowing roaches yet again, keeping those guys alive, and that is so big. Now coming up behind him, using more burrow play and moving behind roaches. Dimaga looks like he may be taking this force out, but he is at 2 hatches of production versus Stephano's 4 hatches. But Stephano only has 2 queens, I think. No, he has 3 queens versus Dimaga's only 1 queen. So Dimaga has a severe love disadvantage and also econ disadvantage going into this resource tab. You can see Stephano almost double Dimaga right now. Sniping that 3rd base makes all the difference, especially when you have +1 base already. Dimaga forced to being pulling back, and it looks like Stephano may be able to edge out his win right now. Dimaga kind of going all in on the attack, not building another hatch. Going the workers killed. Only 8 drones were killed by that Ling run by. But that armor upgrade has made all the difference in this game. Even though Dimaga has had the cutest micro I have seen in a long time, upgrades They just power right on through. While Dimaga does regen HP, those units get taken out of the DPS pool. So Stephano, with that armor upgrade, looks like that may be better than getting Burrow, even if you have Dimaga's sick micro, because I know you can't do micro like Dimaga right now. He is making this work to its fullest, but sadly its fullest just is not enough. That queen very low in energy. You can see she's been using her injects as good as she can. We do have Dimaga kind of split up right here, but it's 39 roaches to 26 roaches with Stephano in the lead, and he is just powering right on through. Dimaga building 2 while Stephano building 11. It's going to be game over very shortly, guys. And a lot of changelings have been dropped. The roaches go down. Dimaga throws the GG. Stephano is victorious. What a surprise, guys. Stephano victorious. Huh. That's a surprise. Well, just kidding. He is victorious most of the time, even against players like Dimaga. But I would love to see like a BO5 between these players, because I think Dimaga does have a chance against Stephano. That was an excellent ZVZ. And if you want to see a ZVP, you have to download Stephano's replay pack. I'll put it in the description. And tell me a game. I don't want to blindly pick a ZVP game with Stephano just because they're not worth watching. Well, they may be worth watching if you want to learn from them, but I don't find them worth casting because they're not that entertaining. It's an imbalanced matchup when Stephano is playing. I don't care what Idra says. Stephano makes ZVP look imba for the Zerg. He just gets such a big advantage and just steamrolls over Protoss. And also, for watching, leave me a comment with your favorite player, and I will randomly be picking one of those comments Thursday night, my time. It's Wednesday today, right? Yeah. Thursday night, I'll send you a PM on YouTube asking for your PayPal and send you $10. That's what you get for keeping on watching me and staying to the end. And also, we do have SE2 gears to get into, so we'll go over that. And again, just leave a comment with your favorite player. Being a subscriber doesn't hurt. Wink, wink, wink. And that just means if I randomly pick someone that's not a subscriber, I may or may not just ignore them, depending who their favorite player is. If they sync up with me, I don't care if they're not a subscriber. But if they say someone silly that I don't like, then, yeah, I may just skip on over it if they're not a subscriber. But if they are, I will not skip over any. And, also, I just want to put it out there. Stephano did say, because I think you'll find this interesting since you're still watching, you obviously care about Stephano. He did say there's a 90% chance that he is still going to be stopping StarCraft 2 at the end of 2012, which is this year. So, give him cheer. Keep watching his stream. He hit 13K viewers today, so, I mean, if he's making that money, I know Stephano, he is not going to quit if he's making bank, because he loves going to the bank. And at the end of his stream, he just plays commercial after commercial. I think it may be like 3 commercials per minute for about 15 minutes. So definitely, if you want to watch his Q&A, you have to subscribe, unless you'll have to well, I'm not going to say the dreaded word to streamers, but it's hard to hear his answers if you're not a subscriber or have a JTV Pro account, which I do have, so I never see ads, and that was before they had subscribers to individual streams. So, anyways, let's just go into this. We do have macro APM 65 for Dimaga, 105 for Stephano. Holy cow, Stephano has much higher macro, and what's surprising me, Stephano has a higher micro APM, and that doesn't make sense to me because Dimaga had some of the cutest micro I have ever seen with that burrow play, but apparently it's just precision and not high APM stuff he used, which does make sense. You're only burrowing a unit. 32% redundancy for Dimaga, 40% for Stephano. That's very high, 40% redundancy, but that's SC2 gear, what it thinks is redundant. 251 APM versus 184 APM. And the EAPM is relatively close, 124, 148, not a huge difference there. The redundancy also making that difference, and why the APM is close, while Stephano clearly ahead in macro and micro APM. But Dimaga makes his clicks work a little bit better. Going over into this, we do have 14 changelings versus the 4. Stephano had more changelings. Looks like his micro APM was due to a bunch of attack things. And Stephano does a lot of cute things. When he has a queen chasing an overlord, he queues up, move, and attack constantly and tries to, as soon as he shoots off that spine, cancel the animation, shoot it off as quick as possible. I think it makes a small difference. So those are things, while Stephano may have higher micro APM, I don't think he's attacked any overlords, but those are the things. You can see Stephano has a lot more attack commands, and that is why he may do more targeting or may just be doing a lot more move, attack, move, attack, move, attack type deal things. Spawn Lova, 62 for Stephano, 44 versus Dimaga. And this is something that's really interesting to look at. Whenever you see a ZVZ, the winner in like 90% of the games I've watched always have more Spawn Lova. Just goes to show you, spawn that Lova, how important it is. And if you have a game where you have more Spawn Lova than your opponent, and you still lose, I'm sure you can watch the replay and know exactly why you lost, because it was probably a huge, huge, huge blunder. Going into the units, this would be pretty cool. 425 Roaches versus 436, very, very close count, but Stephano had those upgrades, and that made a difference also. Well, yeah, I mean, 425, 436. I mean, the econ doesn't look like it made all that much of a difference. I guess 174 lings to the 3 lings. Maybe those lings did a lot. 174 lings is a lot, so I won't be talking too much about that. I don't think the lings were too cost effective. I think a lot was sacrificed while sniping that one hash, but they also absorbed a lot of damage, so it's hard to say without heavy analysis. Going into the inject gaps, you do have Dimaga with a smaller inject gap. He is better than Stephano at injecting. Watching replays from both Dimaga and Stephano, I've done a lot of analysis between the two. As you saw last cast, Dimaga has better injects, but he had less injects just because he had less hatches. So Stephano, while he doesn't have as good as injects, he has super good game sense and knows when he can take expansions. And it doesn't matter that he has an 18.8 second inject gap when he has 2 more hashes than Dimaga. I mean, come on. And yes, that was an Arrested Development reference. We do have the lings mixed in for Stephano, and that's what Dimaga doesn't have. And you can see that very nicely in this one graph. Yeah, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Again, I will be attaching the link to the replay pack between Stephano and everyone. If you can find a good PVZ, let me know. And that would be much appreciated. Yeah, that's what I want to say. That would be very, very appreciated if you let me know a good ZVP so I can go and cast that game. Because if I blindly pick a ZVP with Stephano, it may be a bore fest. Like, literally. It may just be him gaining the lead. You know he won about 12 minutes in the game. Well, it's Stephano, so you already know he won about 2 minutes into the game. But it could be 12 minutes in the game. You know he won, but it's Protoss with force fields, and he can't end the game until another 20 minutes. So that's why I don't like casting Stephano ZVP. But if you tell me it's a good game, I will more than happy cast it because I love ZVP. It's just generally one-sided when Stephano plays it. So again, hope you enjoyed the cast. Take care, guys, and